Welcome back to the program, everybody. Welcome back to the program, everybody. Welcome back to another show. Welcome back to another episode. Good evening to all of my viewers, listeners, and Soul Tribe family. The name of this program is called It's a Conspiracy, But It Ain't No Theory. On today's episode, I'm going to be discussing gang stalking, this hypersimulation, psychological operations, plus surviving the New World Disorder per usual, surviving manufactured chaos, surviving organized crime, surviving manufactured karma, surviving white genocide, and surviving the electronic targeting holocaust. My name is Adrienne Alese. I'm the author and creator of a book trilogy called Lucy's Lair Part 1, 2, and now 3. Lucy's Lair is a book trilogy reflecting my life as a survivor of rape culture, child sex trafficking, and psychological gas chambers. So, I am a human rights advocate. This program is all about advocating on behalf of basic human rights and exposing violations to my civil liberties. Gang stalking. Gang stalking is an illegal operation or hate crime that is sexually and politically motivated towards American women and their children. The objective of the opposition or the counterintelligence program, COINTELPRO 2.0, is to subvert all of the target's potentiality, to terminate and to punish all supporters and sympathizers, to round down the target's output and audience, to marginalize the target, to eliminate connections and networking ability, amongst many other things that I enjoy discussing here on this program, that I enjoy exposing here on this program. Overview of harassment methods used by FBI's COINTELPRO Operation Gladio, covert, community recruits, and stay behind armies or instruction manual for community gang stalkers, also known as a community-based agent, a covert and clandestine agent, undercover agent. From total individual control technology by Omniscience, that's the 666. Organized stalking and electronic harassment, the new high-tech generation of COINTELPRO. Sherlock Holmes, quote, "When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth," end quote, is the motto of quantum physics that defies common logic. The flow of time is what gives us a feeling of cause and effect. The flow of time is what gives us a feeling of cause and effect. Remove time from the equation or even make it non-unidirectional, and all kinds of new realities, possibilities, and ideas emerge, including retrocausality, or in this case, AI retrocausation, which is what you're going to see in the video reel. And I'm going to try to briefly break it down for you all. Bear with me. I got a little Sherlock Holmes quote for you all that I know that you want to hear me redo. So, Sherlock Holmes quote, "When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth," end quote. Alright, so I'm just going to briefly try to review this MK Ultra voice to school V2K, to get a target diagnosed as a, quote, paranoid schizophrenic, trauma-based mind control is one of the primary methods used. Gang stalking as well as organized stalking. Trauma-based mind control is an MK Ultra psyop. Trauma-based mind control is no-touch torture. Character assassinations, slander via proxies, technological illusions, psyops, misdirection, so that would be military deception, electromagnetic mind control aimed at discrediting the target, mind control of people who provide opportunities for the target, which is why I always say that if you are of Christian faith, pray over the people who are in the position or could be in positions to provide you with opportunities. Use of family against the target, and which is also why I say you have to stay praying over your family members as well. An example, mind control of family. This is one of the ways that they can facilitate a counter-proliferation targeting program once they've turned the family against the targeted individual. Then the victim becomes I guess you could say a victim of ritual torture, and that ritual abuse would be scapegoating. And once they've successfully facilitated that, they can facilitate a genocide and essentially a Holocaust. So let me try to break it down. Use of pharmaceutical drugs against a target. So the victims of these torture programs, when they come out to the police or to the doctor about what it is that they're experiencing, they are forced onto antipsychotic medication until they have an overdose and either get really sick or die, depending. Electronic harassment. Total individual control technology is used as a tactic to take away a citizen's rights through faulty mental illness diagnosis, facilitating an electronic holocaust. Outlandish black project technology experiences intended to discredit when spoken. Use of electronic control grid to mind control misfortunes for a target. So that's more or less the V2K and the AI retrocausation. The AI retrocausation is manufacturing artificial flashbacks. This is being done covertly and in a way that offers plausible deniability, so that it can facilitate an electronic holocaust and gaslight the target pretty much to death. So these counter-proliferation targeting programs are slow kill torture programs. Coercing of a target into appearing overly paranoid. An example, an objective of stalking. So this is how they're able to manufacture a faulty mental illness diagnosis, or also facilitate an electronic holocaust. So coercing of a target into appearing overly paranoid, an objective of gang stalking, that would also fall under electronic harassment, because they're abusing this technology to be able to do these, to run these counter-proliferation targeting programs, or these psyops. So that would also be considered a technology-enabled coercive control. Psyops, cancel culture, distributional denial of service attacks, go woke, go broke, new age psyops, social injustice warriors or keyboard warriors, new world order or new world disorder, thought police, manufacturing a faulty mental illness diagnosis, synthetic depression via forced oppression, systemic segregation, technology-enabled coercive control. Sexual exploitation is used as a primary means for ritual torture, systemic blackmail, synthetic social anxiety disorder, synthetic social phobias, synthetic social anxiety, an example, public speaker related suppression. So I think, it's my opinion, it's my theory, it's my belief, that's what the masks were for during this global pandemic or this COVID-19 lockdown or just whatever. And then phobia indoctrination. COINTELPRO 2.0 methodology, covert remote influencing, abusing technology or using technology. COINTELPRO 2.0 thought surveillance, neural AI net for psyche profiling. COINTELPRO 2.0 directed energy weapon mind control network for counterproliferation targeting, AI-based retrocausation. Extensive international neural monitoring programs can calculate a target's potentials before the target is aware of them. MKUltra cover stories. This technology has interacted with quite a large amount of people. However, it is almost always misidentified as other sources. V2K, Voice to Skull. Voice to Skull is described as a wireless form of electronic harassment and mental torture. Under this method, the perpetrators use low or high frequency voices and noises to harass an individual. It can also help the perpetrators to read the mind of the individual or target or victim, as well as track their movements. It is also used to manipulate, influence, or provoke the target's speech and emotions, steal their identity, and confuse them. Directed energy weapon cover stories. Mental illness as an electronic harassment cover story. Electronic Corpse, EC, has through-the-wall surveillance and punishment equipment. In-game technology packaged under persuasive, quote, spiritual warfare illusions. Directed energy interaction packaged as the supernatural. Government technology under a cosmic being facade. Religious themed illusions. Using religion, mythology as a means for cover stories. ET, extraterrestrial contact, as a psychological operation cover story. So that would be having encounters with strangers. So that would be having odd encounters with strangers that either manipulate, influence, or control your behavior. Ghosts as a cover story. AI orchestrated phantom illusions, which is what you see in the video reel. In-game technology as a sorcery cover story. In-game technology as the real source behind effective voodoo. Witchcraft as a directed energy cover story. Black project science under a black magic cover story. Directed energy attacks deceptively packaged as physiological elements. Synthetic signals in the brain from implants framed as physiological elements, psychic attack as a directed energy attack cover story. So these are all cover stories for organized crimes against humanity. Spiritual attack as a directed energy attack cover story. New Age cover stories, an example, disembodied spirit illusions. So I think that's probably like the transgender movement. Old Age mythological gods used as a cover story. Human-based electronic harassment with aliens packaged as the perpetrator. So, aliens packaged as the perpetrator, that would be the implant, the undercover agent who's working the psyop or pulling the strings behind the scenes, influencing. Scientology methods as a cover story for technological remote influence. Exotic neurobody illusions, an example, chakra entity attachments, ethereal implants. An ethereal implant is another way that you could describe the psyop and the gang stalking. Interdimensional being interaction as an electronic targeting cover story. Exploitation of illusory explanations to conceal directed energy crimes. So these are crimes against humanity, directed energy crimes against humanity. People who have already assimilated the cover story are often not ready to hear the truth. Beings impersonated neighbors, targeted individual V2K. Black Ops agents, targeted individual V2K, so that would be like military, police, sheriff, etc. And pretty much anybody ever, any other person working this field operations group, within this field operations group. Family, targeted individual V2K. Deceased loved ones, deceased relatives, deceased pets, psyops V2K. Demons, mind control cover story, jinn cover stories, archons cover stories, interdimensional beings, new age psyops. Like when their reality crashes into our reality. Like interdimensional beings. Anyways, extraterrestrials, cosmic being impersonation programs, ufology bastardization. So anytime you hear them talking about UFOs or ufology, they are alienating a specific stereotype. Entity attachments, new age psyops, shadow beings, an example, to cause fear from an obscure source. Archangels to impersonate a higher authority, Lucifer to persuade into evil, Satan, Satanists V2K, Ra, New Age psyops, spirits, spiritual warfare illusions, ghosts, phantoms, directed energy trickery, fairies, rehashed old age cover stories, higher self, mind control cover story, panpsychism based impersonations. Google that if you don't know what that is. Panpsychism, Panpsychism. Google that. An example, Gaia, aka Mother Earth, speaking to people like you see in Pocahontas, the grandmother Willow. Saints and Mother Mary, religious impersonations. Holy Spirit, psychological direction. Method, sleeper assassin method. So basically what this is saying is that they can use basically trauma-based mind control and other torture tactics to trigger somebody into being or becoming a sleeper assassin. Ascended masters, impersonation of a higher power. Jesus, any vector of vulnerability is exploited. Persons of note, an example to get a target to murder them. 2, psychologically direct. Any mythological god of the past, God, Allah, Yahweh, Jehovah, impersonation of the highest power. And this is done via electronic telepathy. Done via electronic telepathy contact, also known as voice to skull, or V2K. Directed energy weapons operate invisibly, while the inducible mental limits of directed energy weapons are the limits of consciousness itself. This makes for an incredibly potent environment for illusions of all types. Neuroweaponry and artificial intelligence. The point of the program is to have the maximum psychological effect and leave the minimal amount of evidence. To dehumanize a target via electromagnetic neuroscience. Severe targets are sanitized of pleasure, emotions, and personality. Synthetic suicide programming. Technology enables serial killers with a taste for revolutionaries and activists, facilitating a genocide, facilitating an electronic targeting holocaust.